welcome back to our social class, and we are dealing with civics chapter, electoral politics. We'll see in detail about electoral politics. Yesterday I told you what is election, and we have also seen that elections held in Haryana, how it has been called. So we'll see why do we need elections and what are the reasons that we need to have the election. So if you see, we have an chapter which you might have studied in second chapter. Why do we need elections and how a democratic country is? All these things you might have studied. So we'll be noting few other things in this chapter. So listen carefully, students. So here you can find that one important aspect is that 100 countries in the world are conducting their own elections, and which makes them to select their own representatives. In our country, we have a democratic form of government which has been continuously held. Can you imagine a country without democracy, or can you imagine our country without a democratic form of elections? So what would have happened? There would be definitely a democratic form will not exist. Instead, we'll have an dictatorship form of government, or aristocratic form of government, or the monarchical form of government will be existing, which will not give any rights to their own citizens. So that should not exist. So we should have our own democratic form of government in which a ruler of the people is possible. That is without any barrier. The common people should have the right to elect their own representative. So can you imagine a ruler of a people is possible without election? If he comes without election, is that is possible? Even if he comes without election, it will not be considered as a democratic form of government. And as we saw in previous chapter, if the decision making process has been taken in such a way that everyone is made to sit together and take a decision, whether it is possible? No, right? So in second chapter we have seen this in detail, right? So this is now possible like only with representatives. So for a particular district, for example Dindigul district, we'll select one particular person as a representative who will represent Dindigul in the state assembly. Okay, so from state assembly we'll have few ministers who will represent Tamil Nadu in the parliaments. So like that we'll have representatives who will be representing us. So all the common people cannot participate in the decision making. It is really difficult. And you can also see that the existing aspect, like the representation is only the possible measure through which we can have the connection with the people as well as the government also. So this is one very important thing. Then next you see that it is if the people, as we saw already, if the people don't have time to sit together and take a decision, so that is also a really a bad thing which is happening over here. Then you can see that the elections which are being held in India, and if we have few other categories which is added in this, imagine a representative should be a person who is experienced and should have an age. That if that is the first criteria, and in other place we have an criteria that is a person should be educated or he should be knowledgeable about something. And do you feel here a democratic form of government will exist? No, definitely not, because you can find here that it will have so much of difficulties. Why I am saying difficulty is that many will be imagining themselves as superior Superior means they will be the first person to do everything. So they will think that they are the superior most person. They should be considered. For example, imagine 5 members are there who's been represented from the Dindigul district, and based on their knowledge and education as well as age. So one person has been more than age of 60, another one is 50, 40, and 20, 35. This is the age. The age-old person and the experienced person will seek for his own respect. Instead, he will not ask for the knowledge. Yes, so there might be an ego clash which will happen among the people. So these kind of criterias are not brought in the politics. Instead, they were being given freedom to contest in the election and win the election. If we have any educational qualification or knowledge based qualification and age based qualification, there will be definitely an enmity which will be developed among the parties. So only it is restricted. So you can understand this. I hope so, right? This is one thing. And next, if you see here, is that with clear notice, to clearly solve these things, so we need a place of proper election that has to be held, right? So we need to select our own representative. How will we do this selecting of representative? Is that is being done through the mechanism. So what is that mechanism is known as? That mechanism is known as the election, and in this election we'll have the regular interval of election which will be held. So every 5 year once the election will be held, so that if the people are finding it difficulty with a ruling party, they may change the ruling party and bring another party as a ruling party. So there is a possibility for them to change according to the wish. So that is being possible through the mechanism, or through the mechanism that is known as the election. Okay, we understood. So these elections are being concentrated, very important aspect, as essential in our lifetime for our democratic form of government. And in this election, the common peoples have certain rights. So we'll call that elections, that voters, like election, in the election the voters make many choices. Come, we'll see what are the choices that are being made by the voters. Okay, so first thing, if you see, can find that he will be able to choose their leader who makes law for them. So can you see here? So it is they are choosing the leader who is going to make law for them. That is the first thing. Then second thing, if you see, they will be selecting, or they will be choosing a form of government that can make decision. So that is the second thing. So whatever law that has to be made will be done by the representative who is being sent from here, or an implementation of a law can be brought through the suggestion and acceptance of this chosen leader. And second thing you see is the forming of government. They have formed the full-fledged government. Whatever decision is being taken, or whatever they are doing in the party, will be known to this person, and he will be involved in the decision making. So that means the whole area. For example, a person representing from Dindigul, that means the whole people belonging to Dindigul are represented in that meeting. So that is the second thing. And third thing, if you see, is that he or they has the choice to take part, like as a whole, like they can make policies. So those policies will guide the government and make the laws. So they can do guidelines for the government and make laws for the future, or for the implementation of certain law. That is possible in this form of government only. In other form of government you cannot find these things that is happening. And you can see here is that rule of the people is possible without any election. So rule here you can see that the rule of the people is possible without any election if all the people sit together every day and take all the decisions. So it is not possible for us to sit together, everyone, right? So as we have seen in the second chapter, you will be knowing very well that all the decision cannot be taken collectively by the common peoples, making them to sit together and discussing about it. So what we are doing is we are sending our own representatives, that is what is called as MLAs and MPs, who are representing, and they do our duty over there. And possibly, like practically also, you can see that making all the people to sit together in a particular place and take a decision is also not possible, and all the people will not spare their time and sit and discuss about a issue, and this is also is not possible. So this is what is about today's class, students. Remaining we'll see tomorrow. Thank you, students. Be safe at home. Bye.